Hey guys, Ramesh here. Welcome back to React Hooks Spring Boot CRUD Full Stack Application series. Let's go ahead and let's create Spring Boot application. In order to create a Spring Boot application, we are going to use Spring Initializer. Well, let's head over to your favorite browser. I am in a Chrome browser, and in a new tab, just type start.spring.io. This will bring up Spring Initializer website. Okay, so Spring Initializer is basically a website which we can use to create Spring Boot application. Okay, well, here we have a project types like Maven project and Gradle project. Let's keep Maven project selected as it is, and language Java, Spring Boot version 2.5.5. so don't choose snapshot or other releases, just keep default selected one, that is 2.5.5. so this is the latest and stable version of Spring Boot. Now go ahead and enter the project metadata over here. So let's give group ID as net.javaguides and artifact ID as Spring Boot backend, and description something like demo project for Spring Boot REST APIs. Alright, and package name net.javaguide.springboot. Perfect. Packaging, keep jar and Java version 11. You can choose 17 or 8 as per your the JDK installation on your machine. Okay, so go ahead and click on add dependencies over here, and here we are going to choose the dependencies. Let's go ahead and let's choose Spring Web dependency. Well, we are going to build a REST APIs, guys. That's why we are going to choose Spring Web dependency. Well, Spring Web dependency we use to build REST APIs as well as Spring MVC applications. And Spring Web dependency internally provides Apache Tomcat as a default embedded container. So go ahead and pick up this dependency. Apart from that, we are going to use Spring Data JPA. Well, in order to talk with the database, we are going to use Spring Data JPA. And Spring Data JPA internally uses Hibernate as a default JPA provider. Okay, so Spring Data JPA is very useful module, guys. It reduces a lot of boilerplate code that is required to develop the DAO layer or a repository layer. So we are going to use Spring Data JPA. So apart from that, we are going to use a MySQL database at the backend. So in order to connect MySQL database from our Spring Boot application, we are going to use MySQL JDBC driver. Alright, so apart from that, we need a Lombok dependency to reduce a boilerplate code. Okay, so these are the dependencies that are enough to create our Spring Boot application and exposing CRUD REST APIs. Okay, so next you can explore this project by using explore option over here. For example, you can see what are the dependencies you have added to Spring Boot application. You can explore the project structure. Okay, so just go ahead and close it and click on generate to generate this project as a zip file on your file system. So go ahead and click on generate. So look at here, this Spring Boot application is downloaded as a zip file. Now let's go ahead and open in a folder and just extract this zip file. Okay, now open IntelliJ IDEA and import this Spring Boot application in IntelliJ IDEA. So I have opened IntelliJ IDEA, and here you can see open button. So you can click on open button to open existing project. So go ahead and click on open and go to the directory where your project is downloaded. So my project is downloaded under downloads folder. So I go to downloads folder and just select Spring Boot backend project and open in a IntelliJ IDEA. Okay, so this will take a couple of seconds to import Spring Boot project properly in IntelliJ IDEA. Alright, our Spring Boot application is properly imported in IntelliJ IDEA. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to create project structure for our Spring Boot application. Well, just expand expand our project, go to root package, right click on it, new, and then choose package. Let's give package name as model. So within a model package we keep all our JP entities. So let's go and let's create one more package, right click, new, and package, and let's give package name as controller. So within a controller package we keep all our Spring MVC controller. So let's go and let's create one more package, and let's call it as a repository. So within a repository we keep all our Spring Data JPEG repositories. So right click on root package, new, and then choose package, and let's create one more package, something like exception. Alright, once we have created a packaging structure for our Spring Boot application, next we're gonna configure MySQL database in our Spring Boot application. Well, go to a resource folder. Within resource folder you can see application.properties file. So all the application level configuration we keep within a application.properties file. So before configuring MySQL database in Spring Boot application, first we need to create a database in MySQL server. So let me go to the terminal over here and let me connect to MySQL server by using a terminal or command prompt. If you are using MySQL Workbench, then you can also create a database using MySQL Workbench. Okay, so I have connected to MySQL cell, and here I am going to create a database. Just execute the query, create database, and let's say name of the database is EMS, that is Employee Management System. Hit enter, and there we go. We have created database. We have created EMS database. If you want to see the database, just type the command show databases, and you can able to see here EMS database is listed in a MySQL database server. Alright, now let's get back to IntelliJ IDEA, and here we're going to configure MySQL database configuration in Spring Boot application. So within application.properties file, just type these properties: spring.datasource.url and JDBC, MySQL, localhost 3306, the port of MySQL server, EMS is the database name just we have created, and we have disabled the SSL, and username root, and this is a password for my MySQL installation. So make sure that you have replaced this username and password as per your MySQL installation. Okay, I have seen that many of you guys don't replace this username and password as per your MySQL installation, and you cannot able to connect your Spring Boot application to MySQL database. So make sure that you will replace MySQL username and password as per your MySQL installation in your machine. And then we need to specify the Hibernate dilate for MySQL database. Okay, so Hibernate internally uses this dilate to create SQL and execute SQL as per the database. So in our case we are using MySQL database, and here we are using update value for DDL auto property because this property is very useful while development, guys. So this property will update the existing tables if tables are not existing database, and if tables are not existing database, then it will create a fresh tables. Okay, so it won't delete the existing tables. Let's say if we add a new column to the existing table, then it will simply alter the table, it won't delete the table. Okay, so very useful property. But if you are deploying your application on production, then make sure that you use the property value as validate or create. Okay, create or drop. For development I am going to use update. Okay, so these properties you can copy from my GitHub repo. Okay, I will host source code of this project after completing this course, and you can get this code from the GitHub repo, or I will give a link in a video description for the same, and you can also copy this code from my blog post. Okay, I will provide a link in a video description. Alright guys, now we have configured MySQL database in Spring Boot application. Let's run our Spring Boot application. Let's see whether our Spring Boot application is able to connect to MySQL database or not. Okay, go to Spring Boot main entry point class, and here we can run this class as a as a Java main class. Okay, because this class has a main method, so we can run this application as a standalone. And if you can see in a console, Spring Boot application is up and running in an embedded Tomcat server on port 800, and there is no error in a console. It means that our Spring Boot application is successfully connected to MySQL database. Alright, great. In next video, what we'll do, we'll create a JP entity, we'll create Spring Data JP repository, and we'll create one custom exception. Okay, great. I will see you in the next video.